Hi everybody, it's Haas from New Hopes Designs. I wanted to take you on a little trip with us at the 2024 Atlanta BrickCon. I was kind of surprised of how big it was. Was here 2 years ago, and it was quite small. This has increased in size by like 4 times. It was very nice to walk in and see a nice big open space. It was more impressive walking in and seeing this Union Pacific big boy 4884 locomotive. There was only 25 built, and it's all out of Legos. It's roughly about 20,000, or roughly about 20 feet long, about 300,000 parts. It's a pretty impressive locomotive. I was able to see a little bit more of it at the Fredericksburg Brick Fair, and I got some more videos. I'm going to do a separate one later, but it's pretty impressive. So we're going to keep on going around and seeing all the different projects that the artists have done, and I'll pop in every once in a while to let you know what's going on and some of the cool stuff that I see. I really like the port scene that we're coming up on. It's got a nice interior, it's got the nice chapel on there, a little bit of castle. The ship was gorgeous. I really liked how they did the water and all the rocks and everything. It was a really nice scene. I was impressed with the amount of detail that they had in some of the houses, along with all the minifigures, and it was a really wonderful built project here. This tree house ended up winning one of the, I think, best iconic here at the show. It's a gorgeous tree house, very wonderful colors, had a nice spiral staircase going around the whole tree. It's really, really nice. I think it's supposed to be Lord of the Rings aspect, elvish style. It's a really, really well done tree. I really like this next one. It has a lot of Frank Lloyd Wright feel to it. It's a copy of the Roby House design almost, but it's a ski resort on the planet Hoth. Very nice, well detailed, has some nice Hoth skiers. It's all in the light blue and white and dark blue gray color tone. It's really impressive. I was really happy to see this, and I wish I was able to talk to the artist, but he was not around. He also ended up doing a very large hangar bay for Star Wars. As you can see here, really liked that there was a lot of lighting. It was a nice big open space, a lot of great detail. Was able to get quite a few ships in there, a lot of stormtroopers, and on the outside there was a lot of different rooms and stuff and hallways that you're able to see. It was pretty impressive. I wish I could be able to build something like this for all my Blacktron stuff, but it was good to see this. This is a nice little shtick that this guy did with his mock. It basically took all the modular buildings and recolored into black and white. It's really eye-popping. Then he adds only a little bit of color with some greens and some reds. And it's really impressive what he's able to do to get all the detail to still look really well. He also did the museum building in black and white, and you'll see here in a couple minutes. He ended up doing 2 of those and made a very large museum right here in the front. It's a very wonderful build. Just a little bit of color is all you need. Everything else can be black and white. These were really cool builds. It was part of the Friendship Timber grouping. It was basically taking some of the iconic builds and building it all into Friends color scheme, like Black Pearl, and then Galaxy Explorer was down the way. A lot of bright colors. I think it ended up getting some recognition for it too at the show. This was the Batlord Castle. I probably stood here for about 5 minutes just staring at all the different details. It's part of the Fright Nights group in the castle schemes. It was well done. Couldn't believe the amount of detail he had in the castle, the amount of minifigures, the rock work. It was very impressive to see. I was glad I was able to see it. One thing that I can say is that I'm a huge space guy, and this is the most I've ever seen of Mars Mission. The amount of minifigures, the detailing, the ships, it was very impressive to see. They put a lot of time in this. Gentleman, hashtag Exobricks, did a very good job on trying to get everything to provide a story in the amount of detail that he can able to do to put on this little 6 foot by 5 foot area was great. And then there was also a digging site here that had some great lighting, a little drill going down, and there's a lot of stuff going on the inside. A little chamber there for the queen. There's no words I could say to how impressive this is. Even my daughter said wow when we walked up to it. This is another huge build that I couldn't believe when I see it. I know that there was a version of this at Brick Fair last year, and I know there's been multiple renditions at Brick World Chicago and all over the place, but the amount of detailing and collaboration when you look at this, all the lighting, all the minifigures, all the ships, all the vehicles, the buildings, it's impressive when it all comes together. I am just aghast of what I see here every time I see this. Very proud of all these artists that are able to come up and have some interesting scenes and are able to portray a story of what's all going on in this city. You know, all the lights, all the signs, all the underground water, the figures. Just blown away. It's a cool scene to see. One thing I like about the space and space sub-themes is that you're able to do a lot. You can do ships, you can do mechs, you can do buildings, and even a roller coaster if you want to. This M-Tron coaster that I'm trying to get around to here, It's basically, it's one of those things that is like, where does someone come up with this idea? Call it Mtron Dynamo, and it's gorgeous. Mtron colors. There's a lot of neon green, canopies there. It wasn't working the greatest, but it was still impressive to see. That red and black color scheme is still pretty impressive. It's part space, but part also, amusement park. It was next to another roller coaster, and also the haunted house, drop ride. If anybody's ever built the haunted mansion, I don't know who comes up with these ideas, but it's great. Had a lot of loop-de-loops and some curves. I've always enjoyed the idea of trying to build something with this much engineering, and people just throw it together like it's nothing. But having a couple roller coasters, a nice little drop, and a little Ferris wheel, you can do about anything, and that's the beauty of a lot of these space themes, is that you're able just to do whatever. This whole area had a lot of space stuff. That they even had a space McDonald's and I think a space Waffle House. And it was all part of the moon base, grouping there. That concluded, I don't know, looked like maybe 8 tables, and included some monorails and some greenhouses, a nice little area to display some of the figures, and this huge Blacktron tower, which I've seen a few times before, but still impressive to see all the Blacktron vehicles. It's an upgraded Renegade and an upgraded Batrax and a couple Blacktron mechs. And you can, like I said, do anything. I saw one guy ended up doing just a radio station out of Mtron right there. Who comes up with that? You just come up with something unique and just go on from it. For those who don't know, this was a sub-theme that was never put out there. It was called Seatron. It was basically underwater sea astronauts, or basically on a water planet. They basically had a monorail too in this dark blue, trans blue and yellow with a little bit of red. It's basically the idea of meeting up the sea portion of it with Futuron. Then they also had some bad guys called Sea People. There's only a few pictures that were ever shown of this prototype, and this has been on display a few times. And I tell you, it's impressive that they were able to put all that stuff together. The other thing I liked is that right next to it was an aquarium that had some penguins swimming in it, and there were some sea otters. My next favorite thing is always Star Wars 2 outside of space. So when I saw this Imperial outpost here, it looked like it was a factory. There's quite a few interesting scenes on here, really, in like the loose water technique in the front. Then the interior had a lot of different scenes that you're able to look at. Included looked like some processing equipment and Looked like there was a bathtub up on top, nice little crane detail, a mech on the inside. If you kind of look up on top, there's a stormtrooper inside the fountain along with a rubber ducky. I think that ended up getting the best of the show. This is Patrick's, one of the Lego Masters Lava Mountain Star Wars. This has had a couple different renditions. This is definitely one of the better ones that he has. All that trans neon orange is brought to life by some UV lighting on the outside. Really looks like a lava coming down the hills, especially against all that black slope. Bricks in light blue gray or dark blue gray. But there's a nice little scene there. Ended up getting a Brixie for Best Iconic at Brick Fair a few years ago, I think. It's a really nice model. First time I saw it was in Raleigh a few years ago, and that was right before he became part of Lego Masters. This was all part of the Lego Masters area. You know, Mark and Steven Erickson, they did a nice little build here for Rock Raiders. In fact, back in that corner you can barely see it, but it was Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting inside lava. But they did quite a few little scenes here. I forgot what they were saying, but there was a lot of bricks that I think that they were only using it for this show. Then they were going to tear it down and rebuild something for next year. But good use of the lighting, a lot of nice slopes, a lot of good scenes. There were a few vendors at the con, but one of the bigger ones was Bricker Builds, that has a lot of unique like Pokemon and Mario and interesting helmets and stuff like that. They do a lot of different lightsabers. One of the best ones that I've always wanted to get was a Darth Vader bust right there. The Cody helmet is really nice, but these are all builds that you can buy off of their website, and they'll send you the bricks and instructions. Martin with Bricksnap was there. He brought his Rapunzel Tower and a couple other builds. He also had some princesses there that were showing off, Disney princesses. My daughter ended up getting a nice hug from one of them, and it was just a nice little touching moment. It was kind of great to fit in with all of his Disney builds. He ended up doing a huge Disney castle, and I hadn't seen it before, and it was huge. I was surprised at how big it was. You can see Mickey Mouse there by the Sword in the Stone, and a lot of good detailing. Reminded me of the Disneyland castle, which I think that's what he was building it off of. And the moat was huge. The trees were great. A lot of minifigures, a lot of little details here and there. Really kind of showed off what the Disneyland castle would be in bricks. He also had the Encanto house there. It's one of my daughter's favorite movies. Love the color. This is very impressive. The amount of flowers and detailing in the house, when you really take a look at it, when you look at the movie in this, it seems like it's the same house that they actually filmed here at this house. So this was Atlanta BrickCon 2024. It's a good show, a lot of good artists, a lot of good mocks. I'm planning on probably going to show next year with this, taking some of the Blocktron Outpost 77 stuff. So if you like it, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one. Thanks.